I now take this opportunity and introduce our speaker for the session and has also served Texas Instruments in CEO of MS Intertech Limited and Chief Mentor of Friends Union for Energizing Life. Trustee Dharwad for our moderator, the panelists and our speakers on the dais. I now take this opportunity. And now it's time to welcome the youth icon, somebody who has definitely given an example.
The jubilations, I think it really deserves a huge round of applause from all of us to all of you for the raw energy that you're bringing into the room. Over the next 1 hour, when I was sitting here almost 25 years ago, wondering what to do with my life, and that time I had a lot of hair. You wouldn't recognize me from the photos. I was also trying to figure out, where should I get a job, go out of my campus. Had a phenomenal opportunity to work with Infosys in the initial days of Infosys when we were less than 3,000 people. And then 2000, after I did my MBA, I realized that I want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, 2000, early days of the startup world, we didn't even know what an entrepreneurship model is like. Right? We just knew we had to start off a business, and I co-founded a company called Meritrack, which started out as India's first testing and assessments company. Essentially, the hypothesis was that, listen, you start with a lot of IT BPO jobs getting created. Young people like you and us were getting hired. How do companies test people? So we said we'll make tests and we will run these tests. And so we become the guys who will set the test, run the test, and score, and then provide interview opportunities to young people. Everything that could go wrong with Meritrack in the first 2 years went wrong. We went on a massive roller coaster ride, several years of experiences, but we survived. And we'll talk more about the survival part later. And Meritrack went on to scale very rapidly. By 2011, we had tested over about 10 million people. And Manipal Education, University Manipal Education, the for-profit arm of Manipal, ended up acquiring Meritrack. And today, after 22 years, Meritrack continues as one of the world's largest testing and assessments companies, having tested over about 50 million people. The last 10 years, I've been focused completely on the impact. And I just want to leave in the next few minutes a story of how I came to believe in the power of youth. So all my life, I've been doing tests, right? So when you do a test, there are some who clear, some who will not clear. So in my worldview, all youngsters, youth were, oh, you cleared the test, you're good. You didn't clear the test, you're bad. Right? That was the worldview. And unfortunately, that continues to be the worldview today. We were the first ones to publish the engineering employability report. We said 25% of engineers are employable, the rest are not. We still have a lot of conversation on employability now. But something happened in 2007, 8. A couple of friends of mine came and said, why don't we set up a rural BPO? I said, listen, it's hard to set up an urban BPO, a business process outsourcing entity in Bangalore. You're talking about setting up a BPO in Koppal and Gadag. Where will we find the talent from? So they said, no, we'll find some village youth to do the work. I fell out of my chair laughing. I said, in Bangalore, it's hard to find a graduate who will speak good enough English to get into a BPO. You're talking of rural youth. How will you ever run a BPO like that? But a small part of me said, hey, is this worth an experiment? What if it's really possible? So we took up a challenge and said, let us find the most unemployable persons on the face of this earth. Right? And we defined those people as, of course, young people as 18 years of age, who has never been to school, never held a pencil in their lives, has never even seen a train. So we said, if this person has seen a train, he is not as ignorant as you should be. And of course, this person should be staying in a village, so on and so forth. We went around several villages in Karnataka in those days, found hundreds and thousands of people who fit our criteria. Many villages were suspicious. In those days, many of you may not have been born, but we were mistaken to be kidney harvesters. They said, you'll take young people from villages, you'll strip away their kidneys and set them back. So in a few villages, they were almost ready to give police complaints on us. thinking that because we're giving a story to say, give me your most unemployable person and we will transform them to be English-speaking, computer literate, knowledge professionals. But finally, we found 8 girls who took the challenge up with us. One of them is a person called Ramesh Balid. Ramesh used to live in a village in Kothiguda, near Raichur, 60 kilometers from Raichur, and he fits every criteria I spoke about. Family of 10 brothers, sisters, 2 parents. They live on a 2-acre land, and the total family earns 1,000 rupees a month, right? So none of them had ever been to school, ever had left their lives, and when we went and told Ramesh that can you come to train, he said he didn't know anything. In fact, I'll play the first video. It took us 2 hours to set up a video camera then. Let's see if this plays. It was shivering. It took us, as I said, several hours. We never knew we'll play this video, so we actually shot it on a very bad video cam. But we got 6 of them and eight of them to come to a house in Bangalore. We hired a BPO trainer and told the trainer, teach them English. This guy vanishes at lunchtime. He says, I can't even communicate with them, forget English, I can't even communicate in Kannada. So my friends actually started living with these 8 people and started to figure out what will build them confidence. So their own self-esteem and self-belief and
back home Assam. I had never visited a city. I did not know about city life. When I first came to Bangalore, I could not speak to anyone. And I also scared to touch a computer. When I started to learn in English, because I did not know how to write ABC. After the 7 months, I can type minimum at 40 words per page. A month ago, I went to my village for my brother's wedding. My mother told me, please sir, come and have a seat. She did not recognize me. She asked, who are you? I told her, I am Ramesh, your son. As she didn't believe. Then I showed my ID card on which her photo was there. She looked at the photo.
I was saying he's not the same guy. That's what he goes to say. His mother didn't recognize him when he went back home after 8 months. In fact, it's not training, it's transformation, and we call it transformation because once you transform, you can never be the same person again. Right? So you can see Ramesh 4 years later, if you play the next video, for a few seconds receiving the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 4 years ago, I had never thought
video 2 of his
That is a WhatsApp chat. I only know 2 things. Sunrise.
One thing you can take from the national is that each of you have infinite potential and there are infinite possibilities. And to share his perspectives, and then we'll get into a conversation. Okay.
Good afternoon. You heard what Madan said, right? We have hundreds of students here, right? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, first of all, very pleased to be here, seeing this energy and this festival. Thanks to the government for making this happen. I'll build a take-up from what Madan said. So, he talked about entrepreneurship. Okay, it doesn't matter what you take job, working in kind of office, working in the multinational companies or Indian multinational companies or foreign multinational companies. So that's the second level. And there you have additional skills required. And then third is you become a job creator, like Madan was talking about. You become entrepreneur and you create hundreds of jobs. I think that's the third step, which is entrepreneurship. And it requires different kind of skills. But all 3 of them require some basic common skills. Okay? And I'll talk about that after my story. And then you need 1 or 2 skills extra for the next level. So first of all, let me start with my life story. In a very nutshell, it will take longer time, I'll try to finish in 5 minutes. So I was doing my engineering final year in Pune, engineering college, and I was outstanding student of the class. Means always standing outside the class, that's why outstanding. Okay. And when those outstanding students don't get good percentage, I was like that. So I got a job, campus job in Optonica TV, which is Sharp TV, partnering with Kalyan. Without doing so much study, I could do good in exam. Next time, orders I studied from the beginning. From the beginning. How would you say that? Students from my class who did not have a job. Okay? But that didn't dishearten me so much. I got panicked in the first few days, was depressed, but with the support of family, I started looking for a job. 3 months later, I got a job in Videocon. 2 years later, 6 months later, I got promoted in job because I was working very hard, because I learned the lesson. The outstanding student doesn't make you a good job, right? So I said I should be standing inside the company working hard. So I didn't have any vacation for close to 6 months. On the weekend vacation, I used to kind of plan for the next month, next week. I got promoted to the assistant production manager in Videocon. I was managing a plant after 2 years of around 250 engineers in Ahmednagar. And then I met an accident. So I can't turn my head like this. This is the maximum I can do. I can't close hand because there are lots of fractures. I was in the bed for 1.5 months. Got accident here, but dimag mein farak aa gaya. I realized that without study, if I can become production manager in one of the plant in Videocon, if I study with interest, I can do much better. Then I decided to leave the job, go for a lectureship, studied for IIT, went to IIT Kharagpur. I got a ranking of around 98 percentile. I went to IIT Kharagpur. After my IIT joined Textile Instrument. So that was my second job. That is a corporate job, multinational job. So first time when I took a job, I knew how to solve the problem. But I didn't know how to use technology to solve the problem. I didn't know how to actually innovate, how to create new ideas. So after Videocon experience, when I went to IIT, I learned those skills of innovation. My project was awarded #1 project in IIT that time. I was a gold medalist from my batch from IIT Kharagpur. So accident didn't change my muscles here, right? My brain neurons, only hand got fractured, but brain got focused. So all of you here, if I can achieve what I achieved, I think each one of you can achieve bigger if you focus on your goal. Figure out what that goal you want to be. And once you focus on the goal, I'm sure each one of you will be successful and achieve that success. So went to Textile Instrument, was in Bangalore for a few years, got promoted to US. I was in US for a few years with family, and one day head got crazy. I wanted to come back to India and do something. I didn't know what something, but something for India. Came back in 2005 in Bangalore and started a company called Sankalp Semiconductor, and then moved the company to Hubli, of all the places. To cut the story short, came to Hubli. It was the only high-tech company that time in a semiconductor, wanting to go out of Bangalore. He went to Hubli, acquired his communication skills. And Madan gave a beautiful example of how a person who could communicate in English, Kannada, could actually transform the communication in English, can actually be a national level hero, right? That is possible for each one of you. And as you said, it is not about English speaking, it is about confidence building. Once you have confidence, communication comes naturally. So build your confidence by believing in yourself and believing that people like me or worse than me have achieved great success, so I can do it, and tell that in the morning every day, that people who are worse than me have achieved great success, I can achieve, and I need to believe in myself. Once you start believing in yourself, start talking to strangers every day, few minutes, and I'm sure the communication will improve along with confidence. That's the first communication skill. Second skill required for you to job is problem solving skill. You are not here to do what is told to you. If you do that, you are a robot. Our computers can do that. You have to do what is told to you, but you will come across problems. And you are able capabilities to solve the problem and taking it forward. That will be your second critical skill that you need to have. So problem solving skills, how do you do that? In your family, in the office, school, in the college, in the society. Problems are there. Pick up those problems and see how I can solve that. Take them one at a time. Don't take a problem which will take 10 years to solve. First time take a problem which is 10 minutes to solve. You'll be talking to somebody, explaining somebody, doing something. Maybe then 1 day, 2 days. So start increasing your muscle of problem solving by doing action on the ground, and it becomes your habit. It doesn't require intellectual capital. It requires only believe in yourself and you want to do it. So that's the second skill also. There are other skills. The third one, I think the hero in the computer talked about, right? In the video. You have to have computer skills. Ability to type, like in Deshpande Foundation. So I'll give you an example of how do you do that, right? So Madan talked about 25% employability for the engineering students across India. For BA, BSc, BCom students is less than 10%. Okay. Deshpande Foundation has a skilling course. Deshpande skilling course, we have a biggest center in whole of India, residential skilling center with 300,000 square foot in Hubli. We take students who are BA, BCom, BSc, BCA, all these students who have not got jobs. They come to foundation for 3 months. After 3 months, they learn confidence, communication skills, computer skills, some kind of listening and aptitude, and some kind of, I would say, problem solving skills. And at the end, they get kind of placed in TCS, Infosys and other companies. And the placement ratio this year, earlier we used to have 75% ratio when I joined Deshpande Foundation. Last year it was 85%. This year, the placement is 97% of the students are placed. And all these people were actually kind of jobless and from kind of government colleges, tier 2 colleges, taluka places. So you guys are much better. You can definitely be getting a much better jobs. Now what do you do after that basic placement? The next motor skill, ability to solve problems using technology. Solve any problem in the good companies, corporate companies, big Indian companies, then you are able to do innovation building on that. And if you are able to do that today, you directly jump into entrepreneurship. Because without innovation, entrepreneurship is not possible. And innovation doesn't mean you have to do a E equal to MC square equation. You have to do a rocket science. A simple innovation of doing, how do you do delivery much faster and much better, itself becomes innovation, and you are able to do kind of entrepreneurship. Okay. So, basic skills, communication skills, by practicing every day with a stranger. You can talk very well with your farmers, friends, right? You talk to your friends, your mouth has to be shut, chit chat, 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 chat goes on, right? Anybody stranger comes for interview, you are dumbfounded, you don't know what to talk. Not because you are not capable, it's just confidence is not there. So you practice with strangers, you develop confidence, communication skills will improve, and your job employability will improve. Start solving problems in day-to-day life. Don't look up to somebody else to solve your problems. Solve your problems, help solve others' problems, small, and keep amplifying problem solving skills. Then use technology to solve the problem. And finally, start innovating. What does innovation mean? Doing little better than what you are doing today. If you are taking 1 hour to go to the first college, can I do it in 45 minutes? If I am writing paper in 1 hour or application in 1 hour, can I do it in 45 minutes? So start stretching yourself and doing small innovation to improve your skills, your effectiveness, and I'm sure each one of you will be world class if you want to be and if you believe in yourself. So thanks to all of you and thanks to the government for giving this opportunity, and I'll take an opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening all the students about confidence, because with knowledge, what is important is communication skills and confidence as well. So now I welcome on stage Mr. Santosh Hulikopit, sir, the next speaker for the session. Can we have the attendance clap to welcome him, please?
ఇప్పుడు దిగ్గజులు మాట్లాడిದ್ರು ಈಗ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಡೀತದಾ how many Kannada? Okay, I think switch to English and probably a little bit Hindi. Just in the interest, I was just checking. So this is a National Youth Festival. So it clearly shows that the whole national, my graduation from NIT Suratkal and work as a graduate engineer on the shop floor at Bajaj Auto, and then we start our journey.
And in fact, probably I was lucky to find an entrepreneurship journey way back in 1999. So when I started, everyone said Bangalore, because it was a technology-driven company which we wanted to start, said Bangalore is a place, Hyderabad was still not there, no other city was much there. But I was from Hubli, so I was determined to start something in Hubli. So my whole journey started from Hubli, I can say, and I'm still in Hubli. Although I had a long stint in US and other locations. I did a lot of ups and downs, you can say, and why I'm sharing this is, a lot of times, all the youth out here, they see the trajectory of the growth of a lot of successful or probably average even successful people and try to catch the trajectory at somewhere in the middle or the top. But you have to catch at where it starts. So you are all starting development. So with all that experience I'm speaking here, there are institutes where we get the campus recruitment, companies come, they take the process, like you are saying about assessment, then students get selected, and like the process goes on. There are campuses, and also in the campus, within the campuses which gets recruitment also, students don't get the jobs. And companies don't visit these colleges. So what is that we have to do then? So when you take your biodata or a CV to a company, HR, then probably they keep asking this question, right? Like what experience you come up with. And then the challenge starts, like how do I show experience when I'm a fresher? So this problem I'm trying to say, because every youth is going through this, and the best thing to do is while you are studying, put some internship into it, put some experience into it, work for a non-profit, work for like anything which will add value to your skill, your CV. Because when I ask, a student says, I have done my Bachelor of Arts, there are hundreds of them who have done a Bachelor of Arts. And if I have to give 5 people the job, then who are those 5 who stand out? All have done job, bachelors, probably some percentage here, there. But there may be a student who will match my skill, what I am looking at. Somebody spoke of communication. So communication may not be a subject as a bachelor's degree. But if you are able to communicate well, when in front of the interviewer, if they say, tell me in 1 minute what you are about. So all that skill kind of can be developed over a period of time, and that's the advice I want to give to youth, that you have to start this in your own journey early on. And my own experience, like I said, from India to US to everywhere, I think this has played an important role. And I keep telling the youth, very simple mantras. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Lot of people shy, what will that person think? क्या सोचेगा? एक प्रश्न मैं करूँगा तो वो क्या मुझे उत्तर देगा? So from the time we are in the school, probably we are tuned to not ask questions. And like Vivek was telling, between friends we are the best in terms of communication. So there is a gap, and you have to ask. And I have tried this. I have tried everywhere, including when we had an opportunity to meet Prime Minister Modi. Then, can I have a selfie, sir? So he said yes. Like if you don't ask, you don't get asked. So I can give n number of examples where when we ask for a job, ask for help, ask for anything, then you kind of start getting solutions to your own journey. Otherwise, you think that the job will come to your door or somebody will knock your door, is not going to happen. And same thing, because I have been part of entrepreneurship journey for the last 20 plus years, I want to touch upon that. Apart from the jobs and the skills, is extremely important skill for an entrepreneur to just collaborate, network, communicate. Because a lot of entrepreneurs are shy. They have the best ideas in the world, but they don't want to go and talk to customers. They don't want to go out and explore opportunities for funding, explore opportunities for various aspects which can lead to success. So I just want to divide here, saying that whether it is jobs, whether it is entrepreneurship, in your own career, because we do a lot of career services for youth, you have to stand out, you have to come out, you have to present yourself. If you are given 1 minute to introduce to Shalini madam, you should be quickly smart enough to say, so and so madam, is an internship opportunity and I can take up. And I just heard from madam that internship is going to be made mandatory for all the youth of Karnataka, and in the coming budget we will listen, and I'm sure that will be a big game changer for state of Karnataka, and I'm sure madam this will be across the nation that this model will be evolved. And no problem. So I took her secret, but the reason why we are sharing all this is, and why this youth festival, if you see the whole focus, including yesterday we heard the Prime Minister, is that if India has to become the developed economy we call, or touching 5 trillion to probably 10 trillion to beyond that, I am very sure the youth of today are the future, and I am very sure that each one of you have a role to play. Because if you just see, we are about $3.1 trillion, and if we are talking of say 3 times our growth, or 10, X number of growth by say 2030, so much opportunity probably in the last 50 years. You have seen opportunities, those opportunities exist today, and we talk about gig economy, like people have a different job role today. You will see people earning money from YouTube and making a career, which probably in 5 years down below, like when we started our journey, we wouldn't have been heard of that. So all this, I'm saying this, and we'll again discuss while Madan will take it as a moderation, is that we are here today to share our experience, to share the not the success part only, but also what failures we faced, and learn from that and see that you all can, enhance from this youth festival and also beyond in your own careers. With those few words, I would like to thank again for the opportunity.
5-10 minutes. One of the things that I'm reflecting on was that for all the Kannadigas here, this is one of my favorite songs of Dr. Rajkumar, which says, Agadu yandu kaikatti kulitare sagadu kelasavu munde. I don't know how many of you have heard that song. Okay. Interestingly, there was a researcher called Professor Saras Saraswati who did a research on why entrepreneurs think entrepreneurially. She came out with 5 principles. The first principle she called as the bird in hand principle, which is exactly this song. She says that entrepreneurs and individuals succeed when they start doing something, not just sitting and thinking. Of course, sitting and thinking is important, but doing something is even more important. So if there's one lesson that you can see in both what Vivek and Santosh shared, go out and start doing it, just do it. And then you'll figure out how things will open up, right? So bias for action to me is a very critical part. Santosh, I want to come to one part and then come to you, Vivek. We talked very briefly about the future, right? I was just reflecting that 10 years ago to now, everything that we do, the way we do it has changed, right? The way we travel, Ola, Uber didn't exist. The way we book tickets, the way we eat, Zomato, Swiggy didn't even exist those days, right? The way we pay, everything has changed. And I can assume that obviously the next 10 years, things will change even more dramatically, right? So, especially given the future of work, what do you see that future to be? And therefore, what are the things that we as young people must be ready for?
Yeah, Vivek, I think Madan, it's a very valid point, because whenever we are also skilling people, we say that skilling is itself a moving target.
Correct.
Because by the time I taught them artificial intelligence 1.0, it's all gone to 4.0. So the best way I have advised is work close to industry. Because industry is the first one to adopt change. So, like take example of Ola or Uber, right? All taxis were there, everything was the same. Technology also was available probably 5-10 years back, but it took, the wave took, because that's how the entrepreneurs brought in. So if you want to answer this, the best way I would do myself is keep researching on where the needle is moving. The needle is moving towards technology front, more adoption of technology, less on manpower requirement, and the intelligence is about problem solving. So all these are basics, but we miss out on these basics. So to move, just go ahead in the curve, just be in touch with the industry.
Excellent. So stay close, keep learning. And I think one of the things that you spoke about, the problem solving, the critical thinking, Vivek, is that maybe if I rephrase it slightly, you have to be continuously learning to learn. Because what you learn today is obsolete not even a year later, it's obsolete a few months later itself, right? So how do you learn to learn? So your view on that, Vivek, what's the mantra to stay relevant?
So first of all, just observe. 20 years back, nobody thought that you will be actually using technology for even communication within your families. The family calls are becoming video calls. Okay? You would not have imagined that, right?
So just on that point, it was funny. I have a 5-year-old daughter. When we bought a TV 3 years ago, she went to the TV, she tried to swipe it, right, the screen, and she comes and tells me it's not working. So I'm wondering, new TV, what happened? And she's trying to swipe, and that's the technology she's expecting in the TV. Right.
So it's very important for all of us to understand that technology is going to be ubiquitous, it's going to be minimum requirement. So keep abreast with technology. Don't be away from technology, use technology. But the biggest point, which I think the mother also highlighted, and I can agree on that, is going to be computers are going to be there to solve the day-to-day work. They will do repetitive work. They will do manual work, right? What they cannot do is kind of think differently, as of now. So you will have to learn to problem solving, how to solve problems using technology. But the most important is, as Santosh said and also Madan pointed out, technology is going to change. Version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Nobody thought that AI will come. Now AI is coming, okay? Analytics is there. So things are going to change dramatically. So how to learn is the most critical. Okay? New thing will come and you can't wait for classes to give. You can't go to a college again and learn. You have to win the job, you have to keep learning. Whoever becomes actually obsolete will be actually thrown out of the job. So you have to become relevant by keep learning new things coming in and being ahead of the curve. So how do you do that? There's a good point which Madan asked. How do you do learn to learn? How do you stay relevant in the technology? So first aspect of learning. So let's say understand. And what I'm going to talk to you is that I love teaching. That's why I spent thousands of hours in the last 10 years in hopefully teaching. How do you learn? What is the first step? So anybody wants to say loudly, what is the first step of learning? Interest, okay? Okay, great. What mindset? Okay, good. So I think pretty close. So listening is one, but I would say just to build upon that. Look at the kids, right? Kids in the house, they learn to walk. This is most difficult thing to learn, right? You talk to a robo cannot walk like human being. It is very shaky, right? Very jerky, not very smooth. Because you have to move the CG accordingly. So it's very difficult. But kid walks. Why does he walk? He observes the elderly walking. If elders were walking on 4 legs, he would have never learned, he or she would have never learned to walk on 2 legs. Right? So first step is observation. Observation as it is, not based on emotion. He didn't say those guys walking there, I can't do it, so I'm going to cry and I'm not going to do anything, right? He will try, fall, and learn. So first is observation. So keep that mind that be observant of people around you. You can learn from your peers. Keep observing with the leaders you are talking to. Like Santosh talked about meeting Madam and talking to her. Observing her behavior because she's the topper. So she has skills and you can actually pick up some of those because inspired by it, right? So keep observing the people, situations around you and keep learning from everybody. Even a younger person can teach you. Because there is no, so observation is first level. Second one, which Santosh talked about it just briefly, but unless you ask questions, you can't get to next level of learning. So after observation, you say, what can I do? What can I pick up from here? What I'm doing differently? What I'm doing correct? What I'm doing wrong? What I can improve? Keep asking questions, and after observation happens, action happens, questioning happens, then figure out, am I improved or not? Keep repeating again and keep coming this learning cycle. Observe, reflect, introspect, ask questions, act on it, come back and observe whether I have done the improve or not, and keep repeating cycle till you become good expert in that and pick up new skills. I think that's the model of being relevant and going forward.
Wonderful. I think you said it so beautifully. Thank you. In the interest of time, let's open it up for questions. Oh, we have a lot of hands. Okay.
Hello.
Mic it down at Dodapa, so whoever has the mic, we'll get the mics here. Okay, quick, sharp.
ಬಿಜಾಪುರದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
Really good.
ಇವಾಗಿನ ಯುವಕರು ದುಶ್ಚಟಗಳಿಗೆ ದಾಸರಾಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನಿವಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಸರ್? ಮತ್ತು ಇವಾಗ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಿಗ್ಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಜೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಾಯ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್? ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾಲೇಜೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಸ್ವಿಗ್ಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಜೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ಒಳಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್.
Okay. Two very, very good questions. You want to, we were speaking about that. You want to take a crack at it? People are falling to bad habits. Young people are getting into bad habits. Why and how do you avoid that? And, why should an engineer after completing engineering work with an Ola or a Swiggy?
So first of all, forget about others. Focus on yourself. What you are going to do, how you are going to use your time. And there are good habits that will help you improve your skills. And there are other habits, entertainment habits, which could get you better to bad habits. Okay. So first of all, focus on what you want to achieve. If you don't know where you want to go, you will end up in doing a lot of things which actually are bad for you. So you have to have a very strong yes, I want to do this, yes, I want to do something, yes. Then you can say no to wasting your time. So strong yes is required. So have a goal. That's the first. Second is focus on step towards the goal and start doing it every day and moving the needle towards the goal. If you want to be a good employee, good professional, start focusing on every day what you will do differently to improve the skills and go towards the goal. And automatically once you start doing that, you will have no time for other things.
Fantastic. The only other advice that I have for you, my friend, is that even in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, who's supposed to be such a skilled archer, tells Krishna that my mind is like a monkey. I don't know how to control it. Right? That focus, you have to control your mind. And for that, there are many practices. We won't get into it, but it begins by your inner journey. Right? Once you are able to understand yourself and control your own thought process, you will win. If somebody else controls your thought process, you're dead. Right? So how do you then control your mind? And there are lots of ways to do that. In fact, I'm sure there are many sessions around that. The other question that I want to explore is, given the principle that start doing something. If I'm an engineer and I've been wanting to get a job in Infosys or Microsoft and I'm waiting, I would argue that it is better to work for a Swiggy or a Zomato doing something when it is keeping my eyes on the job. This is exactly what he said.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
So you shouldn't sit waiting for something to happen. You have to go out and make it happen. Right? Okay, a lot of hands. Let's get to a lady here. Yes, you have the mic there.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Divya Bhatia and I'm a Karnataka volunteer, NSS volunteer. My question is, how do you think IT entrepreneurs are contributing to the nation? Because they are in the software field, whereas commodity entrepreneurs are generating more employment. So how do you think they both are equal to balance the nation's revenue or economic system?
Yeah, please.
Do you know 40% of our GDP is from the IT?
IT.
40%.
Yeah.
See, first of all, no job is a bad job.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing I want all of you to understand.
Yes.
Swiggy, Zomato, even deliveries, Nintendo, they're amazing jobs that contribute to the economy, and those devices become managers and they become actually kind of executives and down the line VPs in the company. So you're starting now, so no job is bad, that's the first thing. Second thing is, every entrepreneur is required. IT entrepreneurs are required, bricks and mortar entrepreneurs are required, mix are required, agriculture entrepreneurs are required, even for-profit, not-for-profit, everybody is important. So let's not treat them good or bad.
Exactly.
All of them are required. all of them are contributing. Whichever is not able to contribute because of ecosystem, government is supporting, let's say that. But who is doing good, support them more jobs will be created and it will help India.
Yeah, like Vivek mentioned, every job is so important today, and like Madam said, the IT sector, because of its nature of export driven, is also contributing so much to the foreign exchange. Otherwise, we would be at a deficit in such a large way that we will be importing so much but without export. So, because of IT exports, we are able to match the balance between our export and import. So, very because lot of domestic also it's so important for.
There are 1,000 engineers, right? You created 1,000 jobs in a city like Hubli, and I'm sure several of them have become entrepreneurs who have gone on to create a multiplier effect. Okay, I'm amazed by the show of hands. I think this session can go on till the night, but let's keep going.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay,
The skills people need and the skills people learn.
we'll get to you.
Hello, sir. The skills people need and the skill people learn.
Please
More obvious.
mention your name.
Sharanu,
Sharunu.
Karnataka.
Okay.
The skills people need and the skills people learn is more obvious nowadays. However, the traditional education system is falling, coping students with such a type of education. How to tackle this type?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
The skills people need and the skills people learn, sir. There is a more obvious, sir, nowadays. However, education system, sir, traditional education system falling skills.
Okay. So the traditional education systems, you're not getting skilled, and there's a gap between what you have and what the market expects. How do you plug that?
ಹಂಗೆ ನೀವು ದೇಶಪಾಂಡೆ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅಂತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್.
Got it.
ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಊರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್
ಆ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂತ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹುಡುಗರೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Got it. Got it.
ಬಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಥರ?
Wonderful question. Wonderful question. We'll take a bunch of questions. And then, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, exactly.
I want to tackle this problem, sir.
Sorry?
I want to tackle this problem.
Wonderful question. Okay, let's do one thing. I think we've got a great suggestion. We'll take 3 to 4 questions. We'll address them quickly so that we can get to more questions. Let's get to the lady out there. I like her persistence at the last, but who got the mic? The next.
Hello, sir. Sir, I'm Jyoti Ranjan from Odisha. I have a question since today's session is about startup culture.
Yes.
I wanted to ask that is new startups following middleman business ideas, is it problem for India's startup culture? And I want to ask one more question, sir. Can we actually be Atmanirbhar in terms of startup culture?
Can you please repeat?
Yeah, can you repeat your name, please?
Sir, my name is Jyoti Ranjan.
Okay, and the first question?
The first question is it a problem for India's startup culture that the new startup nowadays following copycat business ideas and middlemanship?
Okay. Sure, we'll take that question. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. I am Sadaf Umera from Telangana. So my question is that from everywhere, from every corner of India, there are the students who have great intelligence, who has coming up from new ideas. But still there is a problem that they are unable to explore themselves. Government is providing and they are having chances, but due to their circumstances and like poverty, etc., they are unable to come up and showcase their intelligence, and they are unable to come out. And what is your suggestion, and what the youth should do, and what the government should do? Can you please give me an answer? Why? Because there are the students who have more intelligence and more knowledge. They are coming with so many great ideas, new ideas, but they are unable to get the chance. They are having still opportunities, but they are unable to showcase their chance.
Lovely question.
That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take one more question.
Hello.
I'm Kohli.
Okay, we'll come to you.
Hello. Sir, my name is Hardik and I am belong to Gujarat, Gandhinagar. So मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हम लोग नेहरू युवा केंद्र के माध्यम से गांव और शहर में जाते हैं और वहाँ पे जो कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं तो उनको कम्युनिकेट करते हैं और हम ज़्यादातर स्किल डेवलपमेंट फिट इंडिया इन मूवमेंट चलाते हैं। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब हम फील्ड में जाते हैं तो हम ऐसा हमारे अंदर क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट लाए या हम ऐसा क्या करें हमारे अंदर ज्यादा कम्युनिटी के लोग हमारे साथ जुड़े और जो बेनिफिट्स है हम उन तक पहुंचा सकें।
Hello sir, I'm Komali from
Okay,
Andhra Pradesh.
hold on. We'll come to you. We'll definitely come to you. We'll take this question.
Sir,
Yes, Kobi.
sir, I am Paul from Gujarat, Navsari, Gujarat. I wanted to say, you were saying that one should fix a goal and then work upon it, and once the goal is fixed, one can achieve it. But the problem with most of the students is that they are just mesmerized and influenced by some of the jobs or some of the professions. They are not actually dedicated towards that profession, so they are not actually able to decide the right goal. So I would just like that you could throw some light on how can the youth decide the appropriate goal for their future.
Beautiful question. Lovely. Okay, let's get to the gentleman and one question here.
Hello sir. Hello ma'am, I'm Komali from Andhra Pradesh and I'm an NSS volunteer. Post-COVID, almost 82,000 people, like youth, have been flying off to different countries. And if this is the scenario, we'll be left with no youth in the country. And what all do we have to do in order to inspire the people and inspire the youth in order to get more kind of entrepreneurship ideas?
Okay. So, inspire youth for more entrepreneurship. Okay, so you are this.
Yes, sir.
We'll come to you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Partha Jyoti Roy from Alipurduar, West Bengal. So, my question is, in our academic life, the most important part of academic is placement, right? But when we talk about placements, the disciplines which comes in our mind are professional courses like MBA, CA, etc. Where companies come to colleges and hire the students, and the skilled students having the background of commerce, BBO, BBA. But a majority of the students like me who are in a pure orthodox graduation like English and political sciences, who are lacking economically, what benefit should we get from this Startup India policy, knowing that we are either technically sound like them, not skilled like commerce?
My name is Anand.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, we have you and who else has the mic?
Sir,
Okay, first let's get you. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, you asked me to ask.
We'll connect you here.
sir,
Good afternoon, sir.
1 minute. Please, if all of you want to be heard, please download GeoChat. There's a channel called NYF 2023, NYF 2023.
Okay.
Ask your questions. We will revert to you. Please leave your email ID, the name you will receive. आपके लिए बनाए. If you subscribe, updates भी मिलेगा आपको. It will be a continuous channel. You will receive. You can talk to them directly. Please subscribe that.
Repeat the channel.
GeoChat download कीजिए. GeoChat NYF, that is National Youth Festival NYF 2023. By the time you come for lunch, on the screen NYF 2023 GeoChat. आप please आपका email ID, आपका नाम WhatsApp कीजिए क्वेश्चन के साथ. You will get a reward. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
My name is Aman Kumar.
Let's finish.
My name is Aman Kumar and I am from NSS Chandigarh, and I am currently pursuing BSc Data Science from IIT Madras, and I am also a student of philosophy. As Santosh sir have told about questioning, I want to add one point, philosophical point about questioning. It's like Socrates has said that knowledge is perception, and perception is through concept, and concept is through reason. So I think that knowledge is imbibed in ourselves, and through skillful questioning, we can put forward the knowledge which is good for us and which is good for country. Now my question is like, in day-to-day activity, we used to get lot of ideas. So my question is, how can we recognize that which one is best for us? It's like I am 21 years old. So I also fear in my mind that if I put some time in some thought and if it doesn't work, then what will I do? This is my question.
How I wish I was thinking like that when I was 21 years old. Wonderful.
Sir, last question.
sir, last question, sir. My name is Amina Afri. Sir, last question. I have last question to ask.
Sir, you asked me
I have a last
Let's get to
question.
the mic there.
Sir, I have a last question to ask. Kindly answer me.
somebody is moderating. Please show the discipline. You're all NSS students. This is not the way. You're not in a fish market. Moderator will point out, even if you have the mic, you will not speak unless the moderator tells you. We will listen to all of you. We are not going away. We listen to all of you.
One. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, my name is Amina Afroon and I am from Andhra Pradesh. I'm an NSS volunteer. So, as you have said that we, the young generation of India, have a lot of potential and cognitive ability and approximately a huge amount of analytical skills. So, I would like to raise a question that since we have enormous amount of technology right here, then why the young India is flying to different countries in search of a good employment, in search of a good life? And why is that India, developing country from the past 15 to 30 years and not a developed country? And this is my question.
Terrific. Thank you. And thank you for the...
Discipline students, please. Only raise your hand, don't talk.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Shantan. I'm from NSS West Bengal. So my question is very simple. As we all know, India is agriculture-based country, and my topic is also from agriculture. So, as we all know, a show called Shark Tank. So can we locate ourselves here just because of the lack of government support? That is my asking.
Thank you. Let's get to the
Sir, myself, Vignesh.
last person there. Hold on, please. Yeah. Who's got the mic there?
Sir, God.
Okay, we'll go there and we'll go to that last person there. The one standing and the one next. Yeah.
Sir, myself, Vignesh. I'm from Telangana, from Mallareddy Institute of Dental Sciences. I'm a medical student and NSS volunteer. Now, as you said, youth are skills, sir. But these youth are suppressing their skills, sir. Now my question is, it was somewhat controversial, sir. Why this reservation needs, sir, in youth? Why this reservation is still in youth? Because somewhat middle poor and high grade cash people are really suppressing their skills, sir. Why this still reservation should be needed in this, sir?
No, we'll go to the next question. We'll go that side. We'll go to the end. Mukherjee, how many more? We'll take, yeah, because we'll all, I know we are heading into lunch and there are a lot of questions. We are all available post-lunch to chat. In the interest of time, we'll take that as the last question. Who has the mic?
Hello, sir.
Okay, you have the mic. We'll finish this and come to you.
Hello, sir. I am Sitinder from Andhra Pradesh, NYK is Vijayawada. Sir, my question to you is from the last 5 years, if you see, India has brought out a lot of startups. But as I see from a lot of businesses, many startups are getting down when they try to scale up. Initially they are getting success, but while they are scaling, they are failing. What do you think and what is your advice? What is your advice for youngsters like me who want to build a startup and scale it for a market like India? And my second question is...
Let's stick to one question.
Yes, one question, please. Please.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that question there last.
Excuse me, sir.
One last question.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
A very good afternoon, sir. I am Usha from Andhra Pradesh. So, my question I have today is, see, the youth are very much super ready to get in the process of development. But in the process of development, there is a lot of environmental destroyal. So, what do you think the youth can do to avoid it and still we can lead to the development, sir?
Okay. Should we... I think there's quite a lot. I can assure you that I will come and meet with you right now. But what I would suggest in the interest of time is, let's pick the questions that resonate to you the most. And maybe if you want to give a closing comment which kind of summarizes any of these, Vivek, you want to, Santosh, you get started.
Now stop. Sir will summarize. Please sit. Girl, please sit up.
So I will respond to few questions immediately. And if something are left, we can come back again.
Yes.
So one of the question was for the art students, what kind of job? Yes. So what I told you 2 minutes back, Deshpande Skilling is working with BA, BCom, BSc, BCA, B, all the non-professional courses. Deshpande Foundation understood that the placement for the non-professional courses is very low. So we are focusing on them. And this year, our placement was 97% from the skilling campus. We are also starting the same program in colleges after the college hours. And 52 colleges have started this year. Next year we will be working in 100 colleges. So where art students are not having jobs, please apply for Deshpande Foundation skilling. And they will be actually, in 3 months, they will be skilled and enabled for the job. And it's their responsibility to get the job, because when the skills are there, jobs will come. So jobs is not a problem, especially in the PPO sector, IT enabler services sector, retail sector, and also on the sales sector. Okay. So that's one question. I think another question was, what youth should do to make startups scale and not fail. So let me give you an example of what makes a startup fail. First of all, startups focus on technology or idea. They have to move from idea to focus on problem they are solving. First they have to say, hey, what problem they are solving? What kind of customer segment it is? Is it customer segment which is big or a small? If you say that I am solving problem for people from only Hubli, who have lower income and have only this kind of problem, it is not scalable. Solving the problem for agriculture, one of the person talked about agri, right? Across India, who are actually mid-segment or high-segment farmers, and solving the problem of pesticide spray, then there's a big problem. If you say I'm going to only solve the problem of weeding, only one plant, it won't work. Weeding for every crop, it works. So you have to figure out what the problem you are solving. Is it critical for the customer? Because if you solve the problem, for example, if my hair is going out, right? And if you give me a solution, I will buy it, I will not negotiate with you. But if I have shoe bite problem, I can negotiate for 2 years, 3 years, because it's not a big critical problem for me. So are you solving a critical problem for the customer? Is he willing to pay the money, which is good enough that you can actually get good profit? If your solution cost is more than the willingness to pay the money, it will not scale. So first is identify the problem, critical for the customer, segment is big, and focus on solution which is unique compared to others. And then continue execution, because if you don't execute, you will fail. If you follow this process, you will be able to scale your company. Any other question which I missed out? Okay. How do we actually balance between development and environment? Okay. My take is, very few company startups today are hurting the environment. Most of them are actually coming with innovative ideas. If they hurt the environment, customer will not buy. So my take is, don't worry about that. First focus on what problem you are solving. Is there a customer? Make your company successful. Automatically you will succeed. There will be some always trade-off between environment and business. As long as you are not polluting the water, air, and breaking the laws, every startup will be able to actually add value to the economy. So focus on solving problems, creating company, creating jobs, and making it sustainable and scalable, and ignore all other things, because that will actually be defocus for you and the engage. So I'll just answer one question on reservation, okay? I also was very, very against reservations when I was young. But then I realized that there are pockets in the society where for years, millions of years, thousands of years, they are kind of impoverished. They need support for them for few decades before they can come up. So reservation is a policy done with the right thought process. Is across world, even in US there are reservations for Negroes, for black people. So don't worry about reservation. Your job is to create jobs, make it successful. The reservation is not there for the startup. So let's go that way. Okay. how to decide on the goal. Somebody told, if I create a goal and goal is changing, tomorrow I want to learn Java, tomorrow it is .NET, then it is kind of AI, then it is ML. How do I set a goal? It's changing. So there are some goals which are there for last 50 years and they'll be 50 years. So for example, I want to become a good technology professional. It doesn't matter what technology it is. When you do that and then say who becomes a good technology professional, who keeps kind of learning new technology and solving the company's problem. I want to become a CEO, I want to become a leader, I want to become a teacher. These are the long-term jobs. Then focus on that long-term job. Keep up something 15 years from now what you want to do. And then slowly say, for getting that job, what are the processes I should do to achieve that goal? Processes could be, I want to kind of keep discipline, getting up in the morning, early morning, having my health better, learning my communication skills, so spending time on communication with others and improving my communication, improving my problem solving skills, adding value to what your work is given. Can I do slightly better? Can I do slightly better every time? If those are the skills you focus on towards that goal, I'm sure you will achieve the goal. If not in 5 years, 10 years, and you will be great successful in that.
NSS clap goes to
Santosh, yeah.
I think one question was about having a better talent but not having an opportunity. I think there's a saying in Hindi, इंतजार करने वालों को उतना ही मिलता है जितना कोशिश करने वाले छोड़ जाते हैं. So there is never going to be easy thing for anyone. Opportunities are there, like I did mention. For a growing economy like India, I think never in history I would have, with my own experience, I can say the last 20 years, that where we are standing today has huge opportunities, and you can see there are so many incubators coming up for startups and so many mentors coming up for startups. I had not heard in the last 15 years before like these kind of things happening. So if someone is saying that they have talent, there is definitely a window where you can go and knock, and there is an opportunity which organizations like Deshpande Foundation or many other organizations, Head and High, so many of them are there to support. So I don't buy that, but you need to really be aggressive to take it forward. And there was the other one which all the time we talk about what we learn in academics, like say Bachelor in Arts, and when I go back to industry, they are talking of skills and there is no match there. So the best way is education, however reforms are going to come, is going to be a slow change. Whether it is Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering, there is change happening, but it should be very slow. It is up to us, all of you, to catch up with industry on skills. So there will be a window of time where you can upgrade on a certain skill, keep that in goal in mind and work on that skill. And when you come out, you have a degree, which could be a BA or whatever other degrees, but plus a skill for which you will definitely end up in a job. So you can't sit back and say that the education system is going to change so that it will catch up with you. It's not going to happen. It has never happened. Even in the Western countries, it has not happened. So it's definitely not. So Madan, there are a lot of questions, but I think you can wrap it up.
So you had a requirement to come out to my company.
हमारे गुजरात से वॉलंटियर ने पूछा था, NYKS के वॉलंटियर ने एक प्रश्न. मैं संयुक्त सचिव भारत सरकार के अलावा डायरेक्टर जनरल NYKS भी हूं, और जो प्रश्न आपने पूछा कि मैं कैसे ज्यादा लोगों को अपने साथ जोड़ सकता हूं, वह प्रश्न हमेशा मेरे दिमाग में भी रहता है. मैं इसका जवाब इस तरह से आपको देना चाहूंगा. देखिए, दूसरों को मदद करने की भावना हम सब में है. कोविड के दौरान हम में कोई ऐसा इसमें नहीं होगा इस हॉल में जिसने या तो दूसरे से को मदद न लिया हो या दूसरे से मदद नहीं लिया हो. तो यह इस पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप जब कोई कैंपेन करते हैं या कोई मुद्दा उठाते हैं तो उसको किस तरीके से आप लोगों के बीच ले जाते हैं. आपका काम जो है वॉलंटियरिज्म के बेसिस पे है, यानी आपको दूसरे में प्रेरणा लानी है कि वह आपसे जुड़े. मुझे गर्व है कहने पे कि यह अच्छे से काम कर रहा है. मैं आप लोगों को अभी जो कैंपेन क्लीन इंडिया 2 हुआ था उसके बारे में बताना चाहूंगा. शायद इस हॉल में हर एक वॉलंटियर ऐसा होगा जो उस कैंपेन से जुड़ा था.
जहां हमने 1 करोड़ प्लास्टिक वेस्ट सिंगल यूज आदमी जहां हमारे वातावरण को दूषित कर रहा है। हम लोगों ने एक डाटा भी लिया था, हम में से हर आदमी, हर इंडियन 5 kg सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक वेस्ट क्रिएट करता है। हालांकि दिस इज वेरी लेस फ्रॉम यूएस, वेरी 89 kg, बट एनीहाउ। तो दूसरा चीज जो जैसे हमने प्रोग्राम में सुधार किया कि एक बार वेस्ट इकट्ठा करने से कुछ नहीं होगा, वी हैव टू ब्रिंग एटीट्यूडनल चेंज। तो इस बार जैसे हम लोगों ने लोगों को मैसेज दिया नाटक के थ्रू कि आप जो है इस चीज को कैसे खत्म कर सकते हैं, तो इसी तरीके से आप लोगों को जोड़ सकते हैं।
Thank you. Just to summarize, well, you've answered most of the questions. I just want to zoom out, and I was just listening to the questions, and I was thinking of the following that I wanted to share. See, the fact is that if you ask yourself, and I did this very late in life, I would urge you to do early, what am I really passionate about? And I've asked a lot of young people this. A lot of people say I'm passionate about animals, about pollution. I'm passionate about social change. I'm passionate about farmers. I'm passionate about youth. I'm very passionate about youth, right? So I think the first thing that I would urge you to do, especially in this mahol, is talk to others and find out change the world. What would your purpose be, right? My purpose, I discovered in Sabarmati Ashram, and I spent a lot of time, is to say that the purpose of my life is to serve the Supreme by enabling every human being to unleash their infinite potential to create a world of abundance and oneness. I spent 9 days trying to find my purpose, and I wrote every word after a lot of deliberation, right? So even if it doesn't mean that it's the best purpose, next 3 days, write down one purpose statement that resonates with you. The purpose statement has to be much larger than your life. If you're an animal lover, you will say, I will never let any animal be harmed anywhere in the world, right? That becomes your purpose. You're converting your passion to purpose. From that purpose, you find out, how will I make this purpose come alive in the world? Which is the program. It could be an initiative, it could be a social enterprise, it could be you could work for a company, you could be an intern. Once you write that down, you'll find thousands of opportunities open up for you to start following your passion and your purpose, and the rest will follow, right? So I think once you do that, it will answer a lot of the other noise questions. What will the government do? I don't care, I'm following my purpose and passion. What will my friends say? I don't care, I'm following my passion and purpose. Will somebody help me? If somebody helps, great. If it doesn't, I'll still do it, right? I think once each of us are driven by our passion and purpose, to what Swami Vivekananda ji said, the Shalimam with their
Do we have Aruna with us in the auditorium? Aparna, okay. Whoever won the best question in the previous session, requested to please come on the stage. Meanwhile,
Maybe she is not here.
okay. So in that case, I proceed and I request Sunidhi to please come on the stage and please present a memento to our moderator of the session, Mr. Madan Padaki sir. Ek baar zordar. I request Ashwini to please come on the stage and present the memento to Mr. Vivek Pawar, the speaker of the session. I request to please come on the stage and present the memento to Mr. Nitish. I request Aparna to please present the memento to Dr. Shalini Rajneesh, Additional Chief Secretary, Department Youth Empowerment and Sports. Sharanu, please come on the stage. Sharanu, please come on the stage. Harpreet from Gujarat. Komoli from Andhra Pradesh. from West Bengal. Siddingur from AP, please come on the stage. And the best question goes to Sharanu. तालियां जोर से आनी चाहिए.
Can you start, please? Encourage your friends.
The energy says it all that you all are hungry. We are definitely breaking for lunch now. Meanwhile, I would like to make an announcement. Many questions are unanswered. So request you all to please download GeoChat and please go to NYF, that is National Youth Festival 2023. You can post your questions with your name and email ID and they will be definitely answered. एक बार फिर से जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for all the dignitaries on the dais for all the time and patience they gave for this session. Come on everybody, let's for the next session. So thank you everyone.
Please hand over mics. Please hand over all mics here. Hand over mics. Hello, only 45 minutes for you. Come and report immediately after your lunch. Especially, I request Karnataka volunteers